inside to the Spirit Shop, restrooms, or concessions.
Hello Bulldog fans, my name is David Quintanilla, and this is the sports recap and look ahead for Butler Athletics here at the Sellick Bowl. Here's the recap. Last Saturday, men's soccer had a game scheduled against Seton Hall, but it was postponed for a later date. On Monday, women's soccer played UConn, beat them 3-0 here at the Sellick Bowl, but later went on to lose against Georgetown on the road. Now look ahead for the games that are happening here at the Sellick Bowl. On Thursday the 14th, our women's soccer team will be taking on the
Butler University and the Pioneer Football League promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner.
Hello Bulldog fans, my name is David Quintanilla, and this is the sports recap and here's the recap. Last Saturday, men's soccer had a game scheduled against Seton Hall, but it was postponed for a later date. On Monday, women's soccer played UConn, beat them 3-0 here at the Sellick Bowl, but later went on to lose against Georgetown on the road 0. Now look ahead for the games that happen here at the Sellick Bowl. On Thursday the 14th, our women's soccer team will be taking on the Providence Friars here at the Sellick Bowl at 1 p.m. Then 2 days later, our men's soccer team will be taking on Providence here at the Sellick Bowl at 7 p.m., hoping to keep their undefeated status out. Then after the football game today, make sure to head over to Hinkle Fieldhouse to watch the women's volleyball team take on Seton Hall. Then next weekend, they have back-to-back home games on Friday and Saturday. This has been your sports recap and look ahead. Go Dogs.
In 1969, the Beatles released a song on the Yellow Submarine album that rings true to Butler. The song is Hey Bulldog. Butler fans, will you help us with this tune? Can you say hey? Can you say Bulldog? The band, cheerleaders, and dance team will help you sing along. gentlemen, please rise as we honor our country with the playing of our national anthem.
Here for Butler Athletics, I'm Chuck Levine. Heading into our matchup this weekend against University of San Diego, we sat down with Butler commentators Joey Lindstrom and Drew Bevelheimer, discussing what it's been like calling games for the team they used to play for.
It's strange at first because you want to be as impartial as you can, and that's gotten easier. Like if it's your former team, you have a lot of pride, you want them to win, but you have to be. For me, I have to be as objective as possible.
It's really nice because we feel old, but we aren't that far removed from it, so we still know a lot of the guys. So it's really fun broadcasting for them because we know little tidbits we can throw in there just from being in the locker room with them. I mean, it's just really fun just getting to call the games. I can hype guys up that you used to play with.
You can see Joey and Drew in action as the Butler Bulldogs take on the Toreros of University of San Diego this weekend, and you can catch it all on the Butler Athletics YouTube page.
Hello and welcome to today's PFL matchup on the Butler Athletics YouTube page between the Bulldogs of Butler University and the Toreros of San Diego University. Alongside my broadcast partner, Drew Bevelheimer, I'm Joey Lindstrom. Drew, both these squads are seeking another win in the PFL. Butler obviously seeking their first one. San Diego pulls off a comeback win against St. Thomas last week. Now, when you look at both these squads, they were abysmal. Let's just call it what it is. On third down last week, Butler was 0 for 10. San Diego was 1 for 12. That has to be a key. But for San Diego, let's start with them. They have a quarterback controversy right now. Judd Erickson started last week, but as soon as he threw a couple interceptions, he was pulled so that Matt Randall could go in. And all of a sudden, now they're looking at, okay, now we need to figure out who we are and find our identity on offense.
Yeah, and still only averaging 208 yards passing per game right now. Still not a prolific offense and only 97 rush yards a game. Not the normal San Diego offense we are used to seeing over the years. I think the quarterback battle that is going on right now is a big part of that because you never know which guy is going to be on. Both guys have shown really good flashes of what they can be, and you've also seen 2 interceptions on 2 straight plays last week. I mean, that's not what you want to see out of them. So I think it's just going to have to keep going back and forth, and it's definitely a tough spot, especially in your 6th game into the season. You would want to have that figured out.
On the Butler side, well, we learned prior to the game that Brett Bushka is out, and Nick Orlando will be getting the start, but we also heard that Brody Reeder might be rotating in as well. Bushka, obviously a huge impact player. He makes the offense move for Butler. With him out, what does that mean the Bulldogs have to do to try to establish some kind of power in the beginning of the game?
You're not only losing a great player, but a great leader, too. I mean, being a captain, and he just is able to lead that team. What I think is they're going to have to do it all by committee, right? Like, usually, he's averaging over 5 yards a rush. He can throw the ball. He can do all that. And Nick Orlando, primarily a running quarterback, is going to have to be able to spread out that defense with his arm. Can he do that? And then you have A.J. Deinhardt and Michael Benefield, both also averaging over 5 yards a carry right now. Can they continue to do that? Can you get it started on the ground and ease Nick Orlando into the game?
Butler is averaging 27 points a game and giving up also 27 points a game, right? Dead even, but San Diego only scoring 15 points a game. They're still trying to figure out offensively. Defensively, San Diego has Kamakamaka, who is the coming off a big week last week versus St. Thomas, the PFL Defensive Player of the Week. They have that. They have certain leaders on defense. Their safeties are the paramount sort of players, if you will. Hunter Nichols and Michael Hawkins leading both those two near the top in tackles. They have a huge impact defensively for the Toreros.
And I think the biggest thing, too, is these stats are very skewed. San Diego in their first 4 games played 2 top 25 FCS opponents, and that kind of skews their stats a little lower. In the PFL, they are 1-1 right now and scored 27 points against St. Thomas. You look at Butler, have that 27 points per game, but so far through 2 PFL games, only 3 points. So the stats are kind of skewed. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what's going to happen here today, but either way, they both have to be better on 3rd down. You both have to convert in the red zone, and especially after what we saw last week, the Butler Bulldogs have to be able to take advantage of the mistakes.
So as the coin toss gets started, Butler seeking their first PFL win, the Toreros seeking their second. They are 1-1 in the conference. They dropped their opening PFL game to Davidson, and Butler lost to St. Thomas. We're going to take a quick break for a short interview with Coach Joe Cheshire headed into today's game.
I think, the first thing for us that we always talk about is just consistent execution with what we do, and it's not so much about your opponent every week. It's more about what are you doing to stay consistent in your preparation, and every week the offense is going to change and everyone's going to have a little bit of different scheme, but the fundamentals and our execution are really what's most important to us, and really what we focus on more week in and week out as opposed to who we're playing. Now, there's no question we have a huge challenge this week with San Diego. They're perennially powerhouse offensively and have been dominant in this league for a long time, so we definitely have our work cut out for us. Just go play your game, and execute, and don't worry about who you're playing. More so worry about your execution and how you're controlling your preparation as you approach the game. We all know who they are. Again, it's just we got to go play the game now, and that's the biggest thing is, what little detail can you find in the film? What can you do more over the top, as opposed to what you did last week to keep being consistent with what you're doing and not making last week a one-off and you had one great game. Now, can you stack another game together and have that consistent performance so that, we know exactly what we're getting week in and week out.
Welcome back to the Bud and Jackie Sellick Bowl. Joey Lindstrom alongside Drew Bevelheimer. The Bulldogs will kick off right to left to start the game today. Luka Zurich on to kick. He has 6 touchbacks on the year so far, but last week he kept it in the box, Drew, and you were loving that because it gave his guys a chance to go cover the kick.
Absolutely, and for those of you that don't know, the box is you want it inside the 10 between the numbers and the hash. It's a very tight window. He did a great job of doing it last week. Can he continue to do that? And it's a great way to set the tone of a game. Can you stop them inside the 20 and let them know it's going to be a long day? You can let them know right at the beginning.
Let's make some noise. It's time for kickoff.
Back deep to return for San Diego is number 27, Benjo O'Brien. And he will go ahead. He does not have kickoff return on our stat sheet. Normally it's Hunter Nichols, so interesting for Coach Dale Lindsay to have him deep. Luka's going to get another touchback here as O'Brien elects to defer, so we'll see who we get at quarterback. It looks like that's number 10, Mason Randall. And Mason Randall's stats so far this year, he's a 5th-year senior graduate. 71 for 129, 708 yards through the air, 2 touchdowns, but the glaring mark, Drew, is his 6 interceptions.
Yeah, and so far the Butler defense this year has been able to force 4 interceptions, so can you keep that going and have him turn the ball over, especially early in this game?
San Diego's had a tough schedule so far. You opened the season, lost to Cal Poly, lost to UC Davis, lost to Montana State, both those last 2 ranked opponents. Then they lost a tough one, a close one at that, to Davidson, and then they defeated St. Thomas last week. Randall, single back. He will give up the middle. Nice stop by Butler. That's Terrence Smith, the running back.
And that's exactly how you want to start if you are the Butler defense, stopping that run, forcing them to pass with the guy they may or may not have the most confidence in right now. And now you're going to still like a second and long. It makes them really have to think about what they want to run.
Carson Golgan with the initial hit there, and that's something we want to emphasize too, is their D-line has to get penetration because most of their D-line, with the exception of their defensive ends, are in single digits as far as solo tackles go. Randall out to the right side. That one is complete to number 33, Riley Hansen. That's also not a knock on the defensive line. Their linebackers for Butler are pursuing the ball and tackling well. And not only that, they're also getting to where they need to as far as spots go. Only holding Drake to 6 points is an impressive bout. That team usually is very good offensively.
Yeah, and they're only allowing 160 yards passing so far. They're doing a very good job of getting to the ball, getting to the receiver. You have your pass breakups. You also have good tackles. Can they keep that up in this game?
Randall in the shotgun. It's 3rd down and 5. Drops back. Quick throw over the middle. He's got his man. Catching that one was number 88, Michael Godinez.
And it is a great start right now for Randall. 2 for 2, right around 9 or 10 yards, starting to ease into the game, making some quick, relatively easy completions so far. Definitely building his confidence as they start this drive.
Tackled by Michael Wellman. San Diego gets their first down of the game and converting already on 3rd down. Randall fakes left. Booting. Tries to throw the comeback. What a catch! Is he out of bounds?
And I believe
Michael Carner. That was a 13-yard completion.
Interesting. You saw the sideline there calling for him to be out of bounds. He did catch it in the air, and it looked like he was tackled in the air, pushed out of bounds. Interesting call to start, but still a great catch and a great throw.
Well, Michael Carner, 13-yard completion, comeback route. Huge for San Diego to get another first down here. Hand off to Smith. Up the middle, he's got some space off some good blocks. Tackled by Aguilar. That'll be a 12-yard gain. Penalty flag on the field.
And if you're the Butler defense right now, you want to kind of start to be able to stop one of those. You don't want them to start picking up a first down on throws and runs. The last 2 first downs came on a previously made first down, so you want to be able to start stopping one of those, especially early. You don't want them to get too confident.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 70 on the offense for San Diego. That is Trey Price.
And something we saw last week against Drake, they committed 8 penalties, but it seemed like they were able to overcome almost every single penalty they had on offense.
Right.
This week you really want to see the Butler defense take advantage of those. They're now in a very long field, or still 1st and 10. Interesting, I thought they would have scooted them back, but can you take advantage?
San Diego and Butler tied for fewest penalties per game in the PFL at 4.5. Randall, I formation. Hand off to Smith. There is another penalty flag. They're going to blow this one dead. I think it was either a false start or an encroachment. Good to see what head referee has for us. False start on the offense. Still first down, so 1st and 15. That's 2 penalties in a row for the Toreros, and that's obviously something they didn't want to happen. Let's chat about Coach Dale Lindsay. It's his 9th season, 68-21. Doing a little digging. San Diego has the 3rd best winning percentage in the FCS over the last 10 years. simply by percentage, and that's impressive. Winning the last 8 of 9 PFL championships. Completion outside to Godinez. He's got some space in the flat, and he'll be run out of bounds.
And what really was able to set that up was great blocking on the sideline by his wide receivers out there. And not just starting to block, but continuing to, I mean, they were pushing 5, 10 yards down the field, not letting go of that block, not letting them disengage, getting a huge first down.
20-yard gain, and San Diego's going to start rolling right away. Then we complete outside to number 87, Vance Jefferson. That's his 12th catch on the year. 7-yard gain on that one. Last week, Judd Erickson started the game for San Diego, and they were down 2 scores, but then after a couple interceptions in the third quarter, Mason Randall came in, won the game for San Diego with the help of some great defensive work by the Toreros. Weak eye formation. Fake. Randall's got some pressure. Escapes. Over to the left. He's got a receiver who drops the ball. Godinez on the comeback route. Almost had it. But good pressure from the Dogs.
Great pressure by the defensive line, but those are ones, especially with the team moving the ball well right now, you really want to make those count. And granted, it was an incomplete pass, no harm, no foul done on the play, but that was an opportunity to push them out of field goal range as well. They're probably on the edge. That was a great opportunity.
3rd down and 3 for San Diego.
3rd and 3 so far for 3rd and 3 right now, but so far San Diego 1 for 1 on 3rd down. Randall keeps it himself. Brought down. Is he short of the first down, or did he get there? Looks like the line judge is marking him short, Drew. Jacob Kane on the stop, who has kind of come onto the scene, gets a half sack last week, couple TFLs.
And I don't think there's really much of a decision here. So far, 4 of 8 on field goals this season for the San Diego special teams unit. Only 1 yard to go on the 28. Definitely going to go for it here.
Coach Dale Lindsay rolling the ball out for his guys. False start on San Diego. That'll push them back. And now does the decision change, Drew?
That is a great question. I don't have a great answer, but I don't think it does. I mean, I think you have to trust your offense. You have a 50% chance right now of making that field goal. I mean, that's not really good odds. Usually want it to be like, usually your field goal percentage is around the 75-80%, but it looks like they may be bringing him out here, and it looks like they're going to go against what I think. We'll see how it turns out for a 50-yard attempt.
Pablo Tager. Tager, excuse me. He will attempt a very long field goal for San Diego. Tager's kick is up. It's got the distance, but it sails wide right.
And something interesting to note there, if you saw the holder lined up on the opposite side, usually it is a left-footed kicker and number 20, Brandon Eichert.
Right.
He has the longer leg. They brought him out. It seemed from the very beginning that may have not been the best decision. Your holder lining up on the wrong side clearly doesn't practice with him a lot. And missed field goal. The Bulldog offense takes the field.
Well, Eichert had 2 field goals last week in the second half, and San Diego got another touchdown to compound the 13-point unanswered victory. And you wonder why Eichert's not out there. We didn't get an injury report or what have you, but Tager misses. Butler takes over. Here's Nick Orlando starting in for Brett Bushka. Toss out to A.J. Deinhardt. Deinhardt tried to work on the left side, and he'll be brought down by number 7, Amir Wallace. You talk about the San Diego defense, Drew. These guys know how to tackle. That's Amir Wallace's 25th tackle on the year. Specifically these defensive backs. You don't often see how defensive backs come up for tackles, right? But these guys are all over the ball.
Yeah, between the two of them right now, 45 tackles for the 2 starting defensive backs. That's a lot of tackles.
Between Nichols and Hawkins. Orlando's got some pressure. Loses the ball. Ball's on the ground, and I believe San Diego grabs it.
Fumble on the play. Recovered by
Scooping it
Toreros.
off the ground
Fumble recovered
was
by
number 97, Mohindo Kapapa.
And I think that's just one of those where you have to secure the ball better. He was running it. He was running with it around, just holding out. He didn't have it tucked. And with the fumble last week on the 1-yard line, definitely having some fumble issues right now, but hopefully he will correct it.
Boy, that's got to
Keep
take the
going.
wind out of your sails if you're Butler. Stopping San Diego, missed field goal on their first drive, and then to give it right back. Defense has got to be playing on their heels a little bit. 9:10 to go here in the first quarter. We've seen 2 drives. No points scored so far. Randall, fake handoff. Got some pressure from Connor Reed. He's going to hit Godinez, who's brought down hard by Rousseau and Wellman.
Mason Randall's pass
And a great job there by the Butler defense. Connor Reed blitzing from his strong safety position. Michael Wellman doing a great job covering the gap he left and only allowing a 4-yard gain on that play. 5-yard gain, excuse me.
Second down and 6 here for Randall and the Toreros. Handoff up the middle. Got some space. Over to the right side, and he'll be brought down. Number 33, Riley Hansen. So San Diego entering the red zone. They were 3 of 3 last week on their trips. 2 touchdowns, 1 field goal. I beg your pardon, flip those. 2 field goals, 1 touchdown in the red zone, but 3 for 3 nonetheless. Tommy Carlson on the stop. He had a career high in tackles last week of 12. Here's Mason Randall on the draw. Got some space, and he's going to walk right into the end zone for the Toreros. Touchdown. 19-yard scamper on the draw. And Drew, it just seemed like nobody was staying home for Butler there.
Yeah, it seemed kind of like it parted the Red Seas for him. It was an easy walk into the end zone untouched, and that's something we want to see the Butler defense kind of tighten up a little bit. So far this season, other teams 16 of 17 in the red zone, 15 of those being touchdowns. They got their first red zone stop last week against Drake. You want to see that continue and just make it a little bit harder for them to score once they get inside the 20.
Well, here is Brandon Eicher to attempt the extra point, and it sails through the uprights. So 7-0 our score here. 7:41 to go. Thanks so much for being with us here on the Butler Athletics YouTube page. We'll keep it here. Last time Butler played San Diego, they lost 27-13. That was in the spring. And that game was pretty highly contested. I mean, it was 20-13 until last couple of minutes. Butler was close. But San Diego is always going to be a type of power, and you know, having won 8 of the last 9 PFL championships, always a team that could be scary in the playoffs too. You have to. Everybody's going to bring their best game when they play the Toreros.
Yeah, and they just kind of make you play to that next level. I mean, you just have to. This is a team that has produced Jamal Agnew, who is an all-pro NFL guy with his return abilities.
Longest play of the NFL season so far.
109 yards.
Yep.
I mean, it is pretty incredible. A kick 6.
That's right.
But I think you just have to be able to bring it, and you have to, like turning it over on your second play on offense, it just can't happen right now. I mean, like you have to play a near-perfect game. No penalties so far. You want to have no penalties and hopefully no turnovers, at least force them to have turnovers and keep the turnover battle to a draw, but just not the start you want to have against a team that is very prolific, and your last win coming against them in 2011.
Tager on to set to kick, and he will boot this one deep. That drive, 3 plays, 28 yards. Aguilar is going to fair catch this one inside the 5, so that it will be the same as a touchback. Well, if you're Butler, you got it out of your system, right? I mean, if you were nervous at all, flush it. Time to move on. I mean, you get you get the fumble. You lose the ball. You give up a score. Now it's time to work it in. Start moving the offense. How are they going to do it on this drive?
I think that it can go one of two ways that happening. Either you make that fumble and you start to tighten up and everything becomes super forced, or you go, okay, well, it can't get worse than this, so I might as well play loose and just see what happens. So hopefully we see a very loose Nick Orlando and a loose offense, and they start to sling the ball around because they're going to have to pass at some point to get the San Diego defense spread out.
A.J. Deinhardt with a nice run on the sweep. He'll get 5 yards on the carry down at the 40. Well, San Diego has had Butler's number over the last 15 years. The last time Butler has won was in 2005, where they won 25-24. They did come up one play short in 2015 on a 2-point conversion attempt. So Orlando has Deinhardt in the backfield. Orlando, draw. Got some space and a first down, Nick Orlando. And right, that's kind of what we're expecting to see. 11-yard gain on that one, Drew.
And I think that's what you have to do. Granted, he didn't pass, but he got all the way. He took all of his steps, did his drop back, and then it was clearly a designed run the whole time. I mean, he didn't even make any reads. I mean, he just went. But still, it spread out the defense, so you have to at least have the threat of passing to keep them spread out and allow for those big runs.
I think you're right. If they're spreading them out, if you're San Diego, you got to continue to have somebody in the box ready for him. Fake sweep to A.J. Deinhardt. Deep is Nate Walker. Walker's got 1 man to beat, and he will. Touchdown, Bulldogs. Nate Walker from Glen Allen, Virginia. A 59-yard toss through the air. Walker was wide open, and with an extra point here, Butler will tie the game.
And that's how you respond right there. I mean, we don't have to talk
Right,
about it.
right.
He showed us how you do it.
Nate Walker's first career touchdown. Had 4 catches on the year coming into this one. Rusk on to hold. Luka Zurich boots it through, and we are tied 7-7.
Interesting change at the place kicking duties this week with Luka Zurich coming in.
Yeah, not seeing J.J. Wattis.
Not seeing him. I didn't see him on the injury report either.
But what a play on that drive. I mean, that drive lasted 3 plays, just like San Diego's did, 75 yards. Butler gets the score, and now it's tied 7-7.
And that's just how you bounce back. Nick Orlando, he seemed to settle in. A huge run, a huge pass. Nate Walker, first touchdown reception of the year. I mean, you really can't ask for anything much better than that. 3 plays, 75 yards. I mean, it pretty much speaks for itself.
Orlando's second throwing touchdown on the season. His other one was 43 yards to Austin Schwantz versus Taylor, where they routed the Trojans 77-24. Get right into it. How about Nate Walker, man? Kid works his butt off. Finally pays off for him on a huge play. And the speed to get away from both those defenders. I mean, you had preseason all PFL selections, Hawkins and Nichols chasing after him. And Amir Wallace. This one will fall inside the 5. Beautiful job by Zurich's kick to just die there and taking it out. Number 27, Benjo O'Brien. He will bring it out all the way to the 17-yard line.
And a really good job by the kickoff team going into this week. As you can see, they have 1 deep returner, so he has to cover the whole field. You don't usually you have a guy on each hash to make it easier. Usually a deep left team out of Butler went and looked at the film, decided we're going to go to the right because on the first kickoff he was lined up more towards our left hash, and then you put it to the right side twice, get him at the 17.
So Mason Randall and the Toreros will not have great field position to start out. Here's Smith. Rousseau on the initial hit, but Biggie Ramana to lay the wood on Smith. He still gains about 6 yards. But Smith is still down. Hope he's all right. Huge hit by Big Iramana, the team leader in tackles. Well, let's chat about Dale Lindsay, former linebacker and fullback of Western Kentucky. Drafted in the 7th round, 1965 draft to the Browns. Prior to San Diego, 3 years of New Mexico State. And prior to that, spent 15 years in the NFL as an assistant with 7 different teams, excuse me. And he's become kind of a FCS legend, if you will, Drew. I mean, he made San Diego one of the most dominant programs in the 2010 decade. Terrence Smith walks off. Hopefully he's all right. But kind of amazing what he's been able to build. And, you know, obviously San Diego, I think one popular thing that comes up is they had Jim Harbaugh for a while in the 2000s decade, but then they get Dale Lindsay to pick up right where Harbaugh left off when he left for Stanford.
Yeah, an All-American in college, an NFL vet, and he's been up for National Coach of the Year multiple times. Just a legend of the game.
He's 57-5 in the PFL in his career. Here's Mason Randall giving to Riley Hansen. And he'll be stopped after a short 2-yard gain.
Play by Tommy Carlson and Michael Wellman. That brings up a San Diego 3rd down and 2.
So 3rd and 2 for the Toreros. So far they haven't missed, excuse me, they have. 1 for 2 on 3rd down. Big play for the Bulldogs defense here. I formation. San Diego showing run. Handoff to Hansen. Tackled initially by Aguilar. Did he get to the 1st down marker? I don't think so.
It'll definitely be close. Maybe a chain gang situation. Get to see those guys for the first time in a while.
Well, they're going to send out their punt unit. Stop short, and that is going to be 4th down.
So far this year, the Butler defense has held opposing teams to 24 out of 58 on 3rd down conversions, coming in at 41%. Showing that here, too, being able to get off the field.
Aiden Lemon on, 35 punts this year, 39-yard average. Longest is 60 yards. Joey Audia back deep to return. He's going to fair catch this one right just short of the 40-yard line of 39. So Butler gets the defensive stand they needed, and they will take over. See if they can make some magic again, just like they did in that last drive.
So far this game, we have seen 5 plays from the Butler offense. 1 of the 5 resulting in a fumble. Another 1 of the 5 resulting in a 59-yard touchdown pass. And it looks like we have a new quarterback in for the Dogs.
Brody Reeder is on for the Bulldogs, number 17. He'll sprint out to the right side. He'll hit Flogger for a short gain, who's knocked out of bounds. Yogi Flogger, of course, wearing number 0 today. So Brody Reeder, saw a little bit of him against DePaul and Taylor. Redshirt freshman out of Mainville, Ohio.
Brings up 2nd down and 5 for Butler at the 45-yard line.
In the backfield with Reeder is A.J. Deinhardt. They'll look to the sideline for the signal. Suchevich in motion. Down blocked. A.J. Deinhardt got some space. A.J. Deinhardt on the left side. He'll be brought down past the 35-yard line. What a run.
We are seeing a totally different Butler offense this week, breaking out these big runs. I mean, that is the A.J. Deinhardt we have come to expect. With his average over 5 yards, has broken 2 huge runs to start this game. But this offense only scoring 3 points last week now has 7 in the first quarter and starting to knock on the door again.
25-yard gain for the Dogs on that one. And you said it. I mean, kind of the things we expect, I suppose, out of AJ. But now getting the ability to. Pretty remarkable. Reeder, handoff up the middle. I believe that's Joey Succi. It is not. That is 22. Yeah, that is Joey Succi. Excuse me. Solid 5-yard gain from the redshirt freshman.
And how about a shout out to that offensive line? A little bit injury plagued with Ben Treese being out. Some guys have to fill in. Gavin Johnson at left tackle. Being able to get 5 yards on a run right up the middle. They're doing work out there right now.
They are. The senior O-line, kind of what you expect out of him as well. Succi again. The middle, he'll gain about 2 yards. See Brett Bushka down there. He is the signal caller today. Not on the field with injury, but he is throwing the signals on the sideline. So he can still be in that type of leadership role. We talked about last week how impactful he is as a leader on the field, how much energy he brings. Good to have him, at least if he cannot physically play. Reeder changing the call at the line. Empty backfield. Reeder airing it out to Flogger. Deep ball. That one's going to be overthrown, but a flag to follow.
And I think without a doubt it'll be a pass interference call on number 2 for San Diego, Michael Hawkins, with 42 tackles this season as well and an interception. A great player, but an unfortunate mistake right there.
So will be pass interference on Michael Hawkins, preseason All-PFL selection. Senior out of San Diego, California. Playing for the hometown team. So first down for the Dogs. They'll advance them, I believe, 15 yards or will be half the distance.
Looks like a 15-yard penalty more helpful, I believe, or right about the same as a half distance to the goal.
So first down and 10 from the 13-yard line. What a day here at the Bud and Jackie Sellick Bowl. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Last week we got some rain. This week got some sunshine.
You never know.
Must be the California kids bringing it to us.
And unseasonably warm. Really just not what you expect. Looks like they were having a conference as to where to put the ball. Moved it from the 13 to the 12.
Butler will have to get all the way to the 2-yard line for a first down. I gotta imagine they're thinking score here. 12 personnel on the field for the Dogs. Walker in motion. Reeder will hand off to Deinhardt. He's got some space. Deinhardt, one man to beat, cuts inside, and he will be brought down at the 8-yard line.
At the start of that play, it looked like a touchdown, but Michael Hawkins committing that pass interference play, coming out of nowhere to make that stop, and then the rest of his team come in behind him to help him out.
That he did. Ball hawk as ever. Really got the nose for the football.
1 minute. 1 minute to play.
So 1 minute to go in this first quarter. Reeder in the backfield with Deinhardt. Reeder's going to keep it himself on the left side. Reeder's got some space, lowers the shoulder. Gyrates over to the 1-yard line. And that'll be a first down.
A fresh set of downs. You can't really ask for much more. It is really hard when you're at like that 12, 13-yard line to get a first down and then get fresh new plays, able to get to the 1. Leaving him in there, usually we would see Nick Orlando come in. Keeping Reeder in.
Reeder and Deinhardt in the backfield. San Diego not sure what to expect, but they are going to get a run here. Reeder's into the end zone for a Bulldog touchdown. The first of his young career.
And it can't come at a better time against a good San Diego team. The Bulldogs starting off hot on the offensive side of the ball after an early turnover. Waiting for this extra point to make it 14-7.
See the long hair flowing for Brody Reeder as he trots into the end zone for his first collegiate touchdown. That scoring drive, 7 plays, 60 yards, time elapsed 4 minutes and 17 seconds. Zurich on the kick, and he boots this one through. It's 14-7. Drawing near to the end of the first quarter. We'll keep it here. So now if you're the Toreros, all of a sudden, I don't know if you quite expected it coming out of Butler with this kind of fiery offense, but so far, even without Brett Bushka, they just seem to be running more of that offense that we saw versus DePaul and versus Taylor. They're just a lot more confident too.
There's more confidence. They're playing loose. They're slinging the ball out to guys. They are able to get huge gains on their run. The run game is working. The pass game is working. It's hard to stop a team when you can't stop either one. So I think they're playing much better than they have so far in their first 2 games, only scoring 3 points in 8 quarters of football, now 2 touchdowns in 1. I mean, that is not the team that San Diego probably expected to see today, but it is good to see this Bulldog team show up.
Our count is 14-7, and it's 9 seconds to go in the first quarter. Zurich will kick this one off. After the 1-yard scamper by Brody Reeder, that drive only took 7 plays, but it did take 4 minutes off the clock, and we didn't see San Diego. Deep is O'Brien. He's going to take this one. He's got no choice. 1 foot was inbounds, 1 was in the end zone. Huge hit. That was Joey Succi on the tackle on the kickoff.
And that is what makes the kickoff so important. You always hear they may get rid of it, they may not, but that is what it allows you to do. Getting them inside of the 15-yard line, a big hit, and set the tone for this drive. Granted, they're going to go into the break between the first and second quarter, but that is so defeating to be down 14-7, having to punt on your last drive, and now starting at your 14-yard line. It's a huge play for the special teams unit.
Let's see what Mason Randall and the Toreros can do here on their drive. Obviously 1 play barring before the first quarter ends. Hansen up the middle. He stopped immediately. Stop on that play by number 94, Sam Urbanski. That's going to take us to the end of the first quarter. Our score, the Bulldogs are leading the San Diego Toreros 14-7. You're watching Butler football on the Butler Athletics YouTube page.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the participants from this morning's Butler Cheer and Dance Youth Clinic. Please give a round of applause to our Cheer and Dance Youth Clinic participants.
Welcome back to the Bud and Jackie Sellick Bowl. Joey Lindstrom alongside Drew Bevelheimer. The Bulldogs lead 14-7 after one long completion touchdown to Nate Walker, followed by a 1-yard touchdown by Brody Reeder. Mason Randall has a touchdown for San Diego on draw himself. Randall will hit this one quick out to the right side, complete to number 83,
Mason Randall's pass complete to
Austin Lyles.
Tackled by Thomas Russo.
Lyles, his 5th catch on the season. Now if you're Butler, you have the lead. You can't try to throw it away now. I mean, you have to keep the pedal down, not get comfortable, right?
Yeah, and more than likely San Diego is going to score again, but you have to make them work. It can't be a 3-4 play drive. It needs to be 8, 9, and 10 plays. Make them have to work for it.
Randall handing off to Hansen up the middle. Hansen breaks one tackle, carrying a couple Bulldogs with him past the first down line.
An impressive feat to run over number 5, Connor Reed, right there. He's running hard, but again, Connor Reed able to come in and help make that play, but not before the Toreros able to get a first down.
13-yard gain on the carry.
13-yard gain for Hansen. First down and 10, San Diego at the 37-yard line.
Well, the defense for Butler didn't have any takeaways last week, but did have 3 takeaways in 3 straight games. Or I should say a takeaway in 3 straight games prior to last week. Randall's going to keep this one himself. No, he's not. Hansen's got it. Up the middle for about 4 yards. And Drew, last week, talk about that Drake game. It just didn't seem, we mentioned that Butler looks more confident today. But last week Drake was able to do things on the ground that we hadn't really seen a team prior to that do. And St. Thomas also was able to get things done through the air off of play action against Butler. But now, so far, holding strong against the San Diego offense.
And the Butler defense has done a great job the last 2 weeks of using that week to prepare and coming out with a great game plan to slow down these offenses and not put up a lot of points.
Randall outside. That one complete to number 48, Logan Ginge.
And a dangerous trend we are starting to see on this drive is a Butler defensive player getting to the ball and being there to make the tackle, and then San Diego able to defeat that first tackle and gain 4, 5, 6 extra yards. You really need to start making that first tackle when you get the chance.
Getting a 6-yard gain on the catch. Here's an I formation. Handoff. Stopped immediately. Ging again. One player we're not seeing so far, and I don't think we will, is Emilio Martinez. Last time he played here in the Sellick Bowl, his freshman year, he had 120 yards on the ground. And he's still listed on the roster. He's the second leading rusher for the Toreros, but he's not playing today, so far at least. San Diego has to rely on some other backs to get it done.
And so far they're doing a very good job. They're moving the ball relatively well to start this game.
fake handoff. He's got Godinez on the right side, who's going to take it close to the first down marker. He'll be just a yard short. Good catch by Godinez.
And you have to think, making it over the 50-yard line, needing a score, they may have started to move into 4-down territory, if not here, at least on their next set of downs.
Randall's going to sneak this one himself for the first down.
Randall with the third down keeper.
Butler against opponents, 41% on third down. And that's as far as stopping them.
So far, San Diego now 2 of 3, 2 of 4 today, so right around that 50% mark.
First down and 10 at the 42-yard line.
Randall in the shotgun this time, sending his man in motion. Drops back. Quick throw out to the right side. That's Hansen. Hansen's got some space, and he'll be pushed out of bounds by Thomas Rousseau.
Complete to 33, Riley Hansen.
15-yard gain on the leak out there. Nobody's home there for Butler in the flats, Drew, and that might be a coverage issue, or at least the coverage that they call. Randall again. Another quick throw, this time to Vance Jefferson.
So far, when they do throw out to the flat, either, like we saw on the last play, nobody there, or they're doing a great job blocking that 1 or 2 guys that are there. Great calls right now by the offensive coordinator for San Diego, gaining 6, 7, 8, or even more yards every time so far that they've done that.
Well, Tyler Sutton and Taylor Shappett, the co-offensive coordinators. Shappett, the pass game coordinator. Strategy really doesn't change for San Diego. I mean, they're going to run the ball hard and try to hit you in the quick. In the backfield, he's dropped Connor Reed with a TFL. Tackling game behind the line of scrimmage. And it's going to be 3rd down and 7 for San Diego.
A guy that can really do it all. An interception on the year, 22 solo tackles, now up to 23 total tackles, up to 13 solo. He just flies around. Another ball hawk, just always has a nose for the football and always knows his assignment. He's always in the right place at the right time.
What a play from Connor Reed. You said it, right place, right time.
3rd down and 7.
Got 12 solo tackles on the year, make it 13. Randall drops back. Looking for his receiver over the middle. He's got him. Number 87, Vance Jefferson, a 22-yard strike for the Toreros. And with a point after here, they're going to tie it up. 12 plays, 86 yards, 6.5 minutes elapsed on that drive for the Toreros.
A secondary that has played really well so far to start this year. Only allowing 160 passing yards so far. It looked like 2 breakdowns on that drive. Definitely something to look for, but hopefully something they will get tightened up.
Tager boots it through. 14-14 here at the Sellick Bowl. See what Butler has in store here. Brody Reeder gets the touchdown on the last drive. It kind of feels like forever ago. Both these teams have long drives sustained so far. And for Butler to start out with that fumble, Drew, and then answer with 2 touchdowns on back-to-back drives. You know, both these teams trading blows. The only turnover is that fumble initially by Butler, but obviously you get a couple good things going your way as far as your defense goes, and then all of a sudden your offense starts to react well.
Yeah, I mean, all 3 phases of the game will feed off each other. And I think that is true, especially in this game. Your kickoff unit, the past 2 times, has gotten them inside of the 17-yard line, making them play on a long field. Your defense has made them punt. Your offense has scored 2 touchdowns. It's still a tie game, but everybody is doing their part. And this is the Butler team we want to see, all 3 phases playing in unison. and so far off to a great start.
Yeah, it's been a fun game so far. 8:46 to go in the first half. Tager. This one booted back into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback.
Tager's kick.
He's got,
out of the end zone.
he had 12 touchbacks going into the game. That will be his 13th.
Butler at the 25-yard line.
You got any kicker things you want to say?
We do have a nice win going right to left on your screen. The flag is just blowing that way. Awesome to see a guy kick a ball out of the back of the end zone. Has a huge leg, as we saw on that 50-yard field goal. That just went a little wide, but pretty incredible stuff. It's hard to kick a ball 80 yards, and he made it look easy.
That it is. I'm not saying I could do it either.
No.
I hope you know that.
Very occasionally I could, but not the norm.
Orlando's back in at QB. He's going to send this one over to Flogger. What a throw. Back shoulder. Gets past the Don Benbow 50-yard line for a 28-yard gain. Orlando to Flogger.
A question mark we had as we found out that the normal starting quarterback in Brett Bushko was not playing. We got a little nervous. Are they going to be able to pass the ball? So far, they have shown us that is not going to be an issue with 122 pass yards so far to start this game.
Well done by the Dogs so far. Orlando tossing it to Flogger. Big first down to start the drive. Orlando fakes again. He's going to try to scramble and make something happen with his feet. But he'll be brought down short of the line of scrimmage.
Orlando forced to keep it on the play.
And that's just one of those where you would like to see him throw it out of bounds, not take the loss, but was also trying to make something out of nothing for that play. So you have to be happy with the spark he's playing, especially after a fumble, fighting for everything he can get, but sometimes just taking the nice, easy throw out of bounds.
David Ampingshire on the tackle for the Toreros. Hard count, doesn't draw anybody off sides. Butler will wait for their play call here. Play clock's winding down, and Butler will have to take a timeout. Coach Boris smartly calling that one before his team gets negated for a 5-yard penalty.
The refs are on top of it today because that was a quick as it hit zero. The way they usually call a delay of game is you have the judge in charge. They look back to see if it is at zero. Once they see it at zero, they then turn around to see if the ball has been snapped. So you really have an extra half second to a second to get that ball off. It was close, but the ref's doing a great job being right on top of it. Threw that flag almost instantly. Good timeout call by Coach Boris.
Great timing on that one. And might as well. I mean, I feel like most people don't use their first half timeouts anyhow, so.
Yeah, you can't save them. It's not like rollover minutes. You know, it's not Verizon, AT&T. You got to use them. Use them or lose them.
Use them or lose them. That's right. I don't think I ever had a cell phone that actually had minutes on it.
Oh, I did.
You did?
Oh, yeah.
You were one of those kids that got cell phones when they were little?
No, I didn't get one until I was in 8th grade. I had 100 texts and 100 minutes. That was it.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I didn't have one until high school. Maybe I was spoiled then. Unlimited minutes.
No. Had that for quite a few years.
I wasn't calling all the time.
No.
Texting was way more fun. Anyway, back to football.
Had to fill the break with something.
Yeah. 2nd and 11 for the Dogs. Schwantz lined up at tight end. Interesting. You see Suchovitz down there, number 85, in the slot. Motion in. Here's Jack Boyd. Boyd's got some space, trying to be patient, and a great sweeping tackle by Ambixshear. And it's going to be 3rd down and 10 for the Dogs.
Only getting back to the line of scrimmage, but great blocks there by Trevor Scott and Grant Purley leading the way because those guys were coming hard off the edge. They were able to pull around and lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage and get a 1-yard gain. Could have been a 4 or 5-yard loss. Great plays by them.
That's the key, too. When you have veteran offensive linemen can you get them involved, and can you make sure they're getting to their right spots? They certainly are now. Orlando back to pass. Looking for some space. Somehow escapes. But it'll be brought down at or near the line of scrimmage.
Orlando brought down by 50.
I think they're going to count that as a sack. So no Brody Reeder on that drive. All Orlando, and unfortunately for Butler, after the long completion to get past midfield, couldn't find anything to work on their next 4 plays. And Lucas Zerk will be on a punt. This one looks good, and it will fall inside the 10. Will it bounce? It sure will, all the way down to the 3-yard line. Great punt by Lucas Zurich.
Terrific punt. I mean, what more can you ask for out of him? A right directional punt. Usually, especially in the pooch situations, you want to have great direction, and he did that. Then you want to have a big bounce. He did that, and then you want to roll forward, and guess what? He did that. So really, again, special teams making them drive long fields. They came to play today. And Luka holding all 3 duties, doing a great job to start this game. Looking like an all-PFL candidate.
His right leg's going to be very tired.
Very tired. Going to have to ice it up.
So Mason Randall and the Toreros will start their drive in not-so-great field position. 3-yard line. 1st and 10, 5:28 to go here in the first half. Hand off to Hansen. Almost brought down at the line of scrimmage. I think he gained 1. Good job by Michael Wellman to get in there first.
And the Butler defense right now is flying around. Guys coming hard off the edge. Looked like there might have been an opportunity for a safety. Good job by the San Diego offensive line getting that push so they can get just a little bit more room to run some type of play that's not having to run it up the middle if they so choose. But the Butler defense playing very well to start this game.
San Diego doing it through the air, 122 yards, 69 on the ground so far. Up the middle, that one stopped well short of the first down. Just a couple of yards gained for Ging.
Tackle again by Michael Weldon. 3rd down and 5.
3rd and 5. So far, San Diego 3 of 5 on 3rd down.
Looking at a 3rd and 5, probably a passing situation. Won't be in their own end zone. Have a little bit more space.
Make some noise. It's 3rd down and 5.
Well, the go-to guy has been Godinez, their tight end. Here's ace formation for the Toreros. Handoff to Ging. And he will bowl over a couple of Bulldogs. Get a first down short of the 20 at the 19-yard line.
Or you can just do that to get a first down.
Yeah, that was power football at its finest right there.
Running very hard. They're never getting taken down by that first guy, it seems like, so far. It's taken 2, 3, 4 guys. But the Butler defense is also doing a good job of rallying and getting.
Yeah, they are. They're making sure that they got a bunch of hats on the football. Everybody's hustling. They got 7 forced fumbles this year so far, do the Bulldogs. There's a handoff up the middle. Running hard past the first down line was number 32, his first carry of the day.
32,
Javon Stearns. 12-yard gain. So back-to-back first downs for San Diego. Just over 3 minutes to go here in the second.
25. Cody Leach on the stop for Butler.
Randall handing off again to Stearns, and he will be dropped after a 1-yard gain. Initial hit by Big Iramana and Austin Corba.
Gain of 2 on the play, 2nd down and 8 for San Diego.
Well, it seems that San Diego's intentions are clear. They want to establish the run to close out the half. And 2.5 minutes to go. They're running this 4-minute offense. Very poor field position to start, but they've done well to get out of that hole. Hand off to Jefferson on the jet. Jefferson almost made Connor Reed miss. But Connor with a nice shoelace tackle.
And the Butler offense has shown they can score 3 plays, 75 yards. They can score very quickly. So you don't want to give them a minute and a half. You want to take your time now going down to 2 minutes, but you still have a lot of field to go in 2 minutes.
And here's the thing, too. We knew that San Diego was going to be methodical about the way that they play. I mean, their bread and butter is running the football, hit and play action. Randall, handoff again to Stearns. He's brought down almost by Corba, but Jacob Kane plays cleanup.
The question now is 1:25. By the time they could snap this play, under a minute, do you go for it? Looks like they will not, and punt and elect to make Butler play on a longer field.
Huge play on 3rd down to stop the Toreros. Aguilar is going to go back deep. On the punt is Lemon.
And again, we saw this a lot last week. Butler showing their safe punt formation, leaving their defense in. Usually a fair catch here by Devin Aguilar, or just let it go over his head.
1 minute to play here in the second. Lemon's going to boot this one away. Wobbler. And Butler actually might have some good field position here. A little bit better than a touchback down at the 22.5-yard line. So now you got 37 seconds left. We know, I mean, do you just want to chuck it down the field, or you want to try to establish a run and get out of here at half and reestablish what you have to do?
You do have 37 seconds, 2 timeouts. You have time to take a couple of shots, but at the same time, you're probably very happy with this performance. Scoring your first 2 touchdowns of the PFL season against a very good team. You may just want to take this into half, and you get the ball when you come out to start the second half. Maybe you just let the clock run down.
Or you never know, they could just take a Hail Mary.
Yeah, you can. Why not?
You don't have to worry about the conservative approach.
No, what's the worst thing that
Let it rip.
happens?
Nick Orlando is back there with Deinhardt. He'll hand off to AJ. Spin move around, and that'll be a 4-yard gain.
Looks like no timeout call here by either team. I think both teams happy to take this tie into half, regroup, make some adjustments, and come back out.
So the clock will wind down, and we will head into the half. Quick hit stats for you for San Diego. Mason Randall, 12 of 13 through the air, 122 yards, 1 touchdown. That's 92%. Leading rusher for San Diego is Riley Hansen with 29. Following him is Terrence Smith, who went out with an injury at 22 yards. For Butler, Nick Orlando, 2 for 2, 87 yards. Brody Reeder, 1 for 1, 5 yards, total of 92. 100% for the boys behind center. And leading rusher is A.J. Deinhardt with 81 yards. So obviously something to look out for there, Drew. Quick hit, your keys for the second half before we go.
I think so far the San Diego offense is 4 of 7 on 3rd down, which is higher than their average. You want to try to get them off the field just a little bit quicker. They're doing a relatively good job of it, but just continue to get them off the field. You are also 0 for 1 right now on 3rd down, which is only 1 play, but still now in the last 2 games you're 0 for 13 in total. Like, you need to start converting some of these 3rd downs. Stay on the field. Give your defense just give them a little more of a break. But there's not really you can complain about. You're competing with a really good team right now, and you have to be happy with the way you've performed.
We'll see what the second half brings. You're watching the Butler Athletics YouTube page, and please enjoy the dance team and cheer team's joint performance. We'll be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Butler Cheer and Take Team.
Come out and support your Butler Bulldogs women's volleyball team this Saturday afternoon at 4 p.m. as they host Seton Hall at Hinkle Fieldhouse. After an up-and-down start to the season, the Bulldogs are 2-2 in Big East play, and this is their first time playing Seton Hall. They look to get some momentum after this weekend's matchups. We're here talking to a few players about the impacts their dads have had on their volleyball careers and why they're excited for this special event.
We used to do like Dad-Daughter Day, but with COVID and everything, last year we weren't able to do it. But this is something that's happened like multiple times in the past, so it's really fun to see all the little girls come in with their dads and stuff. You know, he's pretty calm, but sometimes I can hear him yelling like Jay-Z or something like that, and it always makes me laugh.
My dad, throughout like my entire life, has been consistently with me in sports. He's coached me in everything but volleyball. And recently, volleyball is the last sport I picked up, so he's still trying to catch on to it. But he's always been supportive, and he's like my biggest fan.
Come support your Butler Bulldogs Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock as they take on Seton Hall, and girl dads that register online at Butler Sports will be treated to a free meal and chance for poster making and poster signing post-game, and just a good volleyball match. For Butler Athletics, I'm Claire Hickey.
Hi, I'm Zanri Desvi, and I'm a member of the Butler University dance team. My favorite little band chant that we do is Varsity, because there's this little we get to do a little woohoo in the middle of it, and it's just really fun and really short. And at the beginning there's like 30 seconds just of spiriting and having fun with the audience, and it's just fun.
Anthony Cleva here with Butler Athletics inside the Bud and Jackie Sellick Bowl for another Butler football game day. I'm going to take you inside to show you some of the things that you can do. Starting off with the Butler concession stands located both inside and outside Hinkle Fieldhouse. They offer all things from hot dogs, popcorn, pretzels, bottled water, soft drinks, and candy. Heading next into the Hinkle Fieldhouse Spirit Shop, where you can buy your game day attire, offering Butler apparel, drinkware, and toys for kids. Across the field, behind the visiting bleachers, is Tripp's Corner Market, another location where you can buy snacks and drinks for the game. Lastly, just outside Sellick Bowl is the tailgating parking lot where you can start pregame with your family and friends. Thank you for coming along with me on the tour of these festivities. Make sure you check it out the next time you're at the Bud and Jackie Sellick Bowl, and go Dogs!
In April of 2021, Barry Collier, the Director of Athletics for Butler University, was appointed to the NCAA Men's Basketball Committee. The committee recently expanded from 10 to 12 members to include representatives from non-Power 5 conferences.
That expansion took into account the accomplishments of different conferences. And the Big East Conference is one of the most accomplished. The committee is made up of largely athletic directors and conference commissioners, and some of them have direct men's basketball experience, and that's where I think I have something to offer, in that I played college basketball, I coached college basketball, and I've been an administrator and oversight for college basketball for a number of years.
The committee is responsible for managing the event as well as selecting, seeding, and bracketing the field.
The time that I'm looking forward to will be about a month into the season, after we've looked at games over those 30 days and teams have established themselves or maybe in a possibility category, And it's really too early to eliminate anybody after just a month, but you're going to get started on that road, and that'll be helpful. So I'm looking forward to all of the teams playing, the student athletes competing, and the coaches and the games. I would say that I watch these games all year long anyway, every year. So this one I just get to tell somebody what I think about it.
Butler Health and Recreation Center is soon to be home to the AT&T Sports Hackathon later this month of October, starting Friday the 22nd through Sunday the 24th. The 48-hour event is bringing together the nation's top developers, digital designers, and creators to develop and hack innovative solutions for sports using 5G mobile technology. With $100,000 in prize money, a quarter of the prize money goes to the best overall idea and application.
So Butler is really one of the industry leaders in the city of Indianapolis as well as the state, especially with our directions that we're going with our technology, particularly esports and the new facility that's going to be coming out. I think the position that Butler's put itself in and sort of the kind of the status or prestige around being an innovative, sort of forward-thinking university puts us on people's minds, and then hosting these types of events or showcases that we're sort of able to deliver these large events, but also sort of tech-focused events. I think that's why they picked Butler this time around.
My name is Anthony Cleva, and I'm going behind the scenes to show you how the SPM 320 live sports production class conducts a Butler Athletics broadcast. The live sports production class has 23 members working towards a degree in sports media. Each week, everyone takes on a different role to put on the best broadcast possible. This class is responsible for everything you see on air, including talent, camera angles, and improved graphic package and content. I sat down with Sam Reel to talk about his experience.
My experience has been great, you know. I couldn't really ask for a better opportunity or a better time in this class, from learning all the new techniques, the cutting edge features that are hitting the industry. It's been a great time. Last week I was the executive producer on the broadcast, and you know, we were able to add new stand-up packages to give us some pre-game content and then some halftime content as well.
For Butler Athletics, I'm Anthony Cleva.
Butler University would like to thank our following corporate sponsors. Pepsi, the official soft drink of Butler Athletics. Pepsi, live for now. Nike, the official equipment and apparel provider of Butler Athletics. Visit Nike.com. Chick-fil-A is a proud partner of Butler Athletics. Pick up your classic Chick-fil-A sandwich at the concession stand today. And Gold Shield Limos. Gold Shield is the official transportation provider of Butler Athletics. Please visit goldshieldcars.com.
Welcome back to the Bud and Jackie Sellick Bowl. Coach Boris getting his boys pumped up for the second half, and they should be excited as we are tied 14-14. Hello, everyone. Joey Lindstrom alongside Drew Bevelheimer. The Bulldogs were down 7-0 after a scamper by Mason Randall, quarterback for San Diego, and then they answered with a deep shot to Nate Walker, who ran away with it, put the afterburners on, scores, and then Brody Reeder gets a 1-yard touchdown on the following drive for Butler. San Diego answers, though, with a touchdown of their own through the air, a strike to Jefferson. Drew Bevelheimer. Now Butler receives the ball to begin this half. We talked about in the beginning of the game how you have to make a statement and how you have to set the tone. Well, you can obviously set the tone if you have the ball in the second half first.
Yeah, and I think you just got to be smart, right? So on this kickoff, guy is a huge, probably in the end zone, so you know you're probably going to start at the 25. You can kind of script these plays to start. You know exactly what you're going to do. Brody Reeder has been playing very well to start the game, leading you to a great touchdown drive, completing passes, working on the ground. Everything was working. Nick Orlando has also been doing very well. It's great to see him. It'll be interesting to see who we start with because Nick Orlando has had 2 possessions, Brody Reeder only 1. Will they start him in the second half and hope to just keep that match, just keep the magic going with him?
It did seem like they were trying to do maybe a 2-quarterback system where they switch off each series. We'll see how that goes as they progress.
And both right now with a touchdown, Nick Orlando ironically through the air and Brody Reeder on the ground. You expect the exact opposite.
Yeah.
But they're showing exactly
go ahead.
How dynamic they can be.
I mean, they're combined 3 for 3, 92 yards. Only 3 passes attempted and completed, but 14 rushes on the ground. I mean, that's 17 plays for an offense that usually runs over 40 to 60 plays a game. Like, that's definitely below average for what they're used to, but they're getting it done so far. Tager on to kick for San Diego. We're kicking right to left. Butler will move left to right. Back deep are Jack Boyd and Devin Aguilar. It's a beautiful day here in Indianapolis for some football here in early October. Tager boots this one. It's going to head back beyond the end line, and that'll be a touchback. So let's see which quarterback we get. Believe it looks like Coach Connor's talking to Orlando there on your screen. So I got to imagine number 1's going to be at the helm.
And there's nothing new you really have to do here. You were able to move the ball. You're able to score. Just keep doing what you're doing. You don't need to reinvent the wheel going into halftime. You're having success. Just keep it going.
See if they can keep that consistent. I mean, A.J. Deinhardt, 35 yards on the ground in the first half. Split out. Orlando, empty backfield. Looks to escape the pocket. And he'll be corralled by all 3 linebackers for San Diego. Included there is Kamakamaka, the coming off a PFL Defensive Player of the Week performance last week against St. Thomas. And San Diego's been playing from a deficit a lot this year. They're certainly a second half team. I mean, they were down 13 at half against St. Thomas last week, came all the way back to win that one in the fourth quarter. So even if you're Butler, I got to think that you have to keep the pedal down if you're going to try to beat the San Diego team.
Yeah, for some teams, a flip just switches, and they just come out harder in the second half, and you have to be ready for that.
Orlando, deep shot over to Suchevitz. Nobody home. Probably needed to loft that one a little bit. In coverage there for San Diego was number 6, Hunter Nichols, preseason All-PFL selection.
But what's nice about that is, yes, it's an incomplete pass, but it was there. So you're still able to create those opportunities. Now you just have to make them count, and you just need to complete that pass because he did have some separation there, especially at the beginning of that route, maybe a second sooner on the throw.
See what Butler's got here for 3rd and 6 from the 29-yard line. Orlando looking for some space. He's going to have to scramble. He gets hit hard at the line of scrimmage. And this will bring up 4th down. So the Butler Bulldogs go 3 and out. Chase Lyons on the stop. His second tackle for, I guess, 0 gain. But regardless, does the job, and Butler will punt here. Jacob Kane on to snap. Lucas Zurich on to punt.
Michael Hawkins back to return for San Diego.
Zurich pinned San Diego deep. The 45-yard punt in the first half. Got him all the way down to the 4. This one spiraling out of bounds. it'll be down at the 26-yard line.
A great punt.
Turned out to be a great punt.
45-yard punt out of bounds, no return. Wanted to go right with it, went very right with it. A little surprised that he marked it out of bounds right where it fell out of bounds. Usually they go up, 5-6 yards because it's traveling out of bounds.
Yeah.
So, but if you're Luca, you'll take that.
Another 45-yard punt.
First down and 10 for the Toreros.
Hitting an average off of 2 punts, wouldn't you know it, of 45 yards. So there you go. Mason Randall sends his man in motion. He was near perfect in the first half, 12 of 13. Fakes the handoff here. Out route, he's got his man, number 13, Christian Brown. Redshirt junior out of Lake Harbor, Washington. 13-yard gain. Stopped by Connor Reed. It'll be a first down for the Toreros.
And you were talking about it earlier. They love to run, and then set up that play-action pass. And they ran it to perfection there.
It does appear that there is a flag. Get the official word. You see it on the sideline. This could be a sideline warning if the line judge couldn't get over to make a call.
It also looked like the coach for San Diego on the sideline, I believe, one of the offensive coordinators was looking for a late hit out of bounds. He was pointing to where it happened.
After the play, personal foul, late hit defense, 15-yard penalty for the end of the run automatic.
So it was a late hit out of bounds against the Dogs.
It's always tough when they make those calls and aren't able to give you a number because you don't. Because there wasn't a flag until after.
Right, after the fact, yeah.
Way after the fact. So unfortunate, but still at the end of the day, it didn't look like he hit him late. It looked like he started to hit him as he was inbounds and it just carried off the field of play. But still a mistake you don't want to have.
But you can't have it if you're Butler. You can't give away free yards to this Torero team at all. There's Randall. Dishing it out on the left side to Hansen. Makes one man miss. He'll be tackled hard by by Eloa Biguramana.
He made sure to not miss.
What's that?
He made sure to not miss.
That's right.
He hit him. He was hit very hard, and he will remember that.
I mean, we talked about the development off air, but of Eloa Biguramana, I mean, he came in as a transfer from Southern Arkansas, and he just started to get it as we were on our way out, and it's great to see his development. Randall handing off to Ging. And we brought down after the first down line. 3-yard gain.
Resulted in San Diego first down and 10 at the 34-yard line.
So San Diego will get it first down and 10 at the 34. New face out there at corner to the bottom of your screen is Kellen Madison.
For the Toreros at the 33-yard line.
Freshman from Davie, Florida. Mason Randall. Gets some pressure. Quick throw.
Randall's pass complete to 88 Michael Cadenas.
Cadenas on the catch. He'll get the first down a little bit more. A 13-yard pass play.
And you're starting to see those halftime adjustments come into play for San Diego. They are starting to find the soft spots in the defense. One was on that play action pass early in the drive, and then they're just sitting right in between two linebackers, moving the ball very quickly.
San Diego's at 266 as far as total yards go, but they're usually giving up over 300. This ball poked away by Kellen Madison. How about you? Freshman steps in, makes a great play on the outside to prevent Carter from gaining the touchdown.
Carter broke up by Kellen Madison.
What a play from the freshman corner.
We've talked about it many times, but this team is so deep, even with their young guys. You have Brody Reader stepping in at quarterback. You have the play right there. You have so many things that these young guys are coming in, being able to do. It's really great to see all of these young guys stepping up.
2nd and 10 after the deep shot to the end zone. Falls incomplete. Mason Randall, empty backfield. Quick throw, right side to Jefferson. He'll be brought down and dragged out of bounds by Thomas Rousseau.
Randall's pass complete to 87, Vance Jefferson. Tackled by Thomas Russo.
That is Jefferson's 4th catch.
That brings up a Torero, 3rd down and
He's got 42 yards on the day so far. Leading the way receiving for the Toreros is Godinez with 5 catches and 51 yards. Empty backfield once again. It's 3rd down. San Diego 4 of 7 so far. To the end zone. Garner was looking for the ball, and I think Randall wanted that back shoulder, but Garner was not turned the right way. Malachi Pike on the coverage. And this will bring out the field goal unit for the Toreros, and we'll get to see Brandon Eichert this time.
A little bit of a mismatch maybe there with Malachi Pike covering him, but had great coverage, was there with him every step of the way. Looking for a back shoulder, kind of have him turn around, and Malachi Pike there the whole way, forcing a field goal. And I would assume here too you have, it's like Eichert and obviously probably like your shorter range, more accurate field goal kicker.
That one is up and good. San Diego will take a 17-14 lead here in the 3rd quarter. 10:20 to go. 34-yard field goal. That drive, 8 plays, 58 yards, 3 minutes on the dot. It lapsed. What a play by Kellen Madison to prevent that touchdown. Step in there. And then Malachi Pike on the coverage. You said it, a little bit unorthodox to have your linebacker covering San Diego's go-to receiver. But it worked out for him, for Butler. Only holding the Toreros to a 3-point drive.
And stopping that touchdown is one of those plays when you go back and look at the film that you can point to if you end up winning this game and saying that was a game-saving play. Just a great play, especially by a freshman. I mean, that's...
Right. Future will probably be bright. Kellen Madison. Devin Aguilar, his veteran leader, back deep to return along with Jack Boyd. Tager will kick off again for the Toreros.
And we can probably expect no return.
Yeah, he's booted him well deep into the end zone.
This will be
this
the
one, same story, different kick. Both teams have all 3 timeouts.
And I will say that one only hit the back white line of the end zone. Might be a little upset with himself going over the sideline.
I think he'll be okay.
I think he will too.
Still a touchback. I think he does lead the PFL in touchbacks this season. We see Coach Cheshire, Coach Darrell Hankins. They got to be happy with only giving up 3 points there.
And just overall on the defensive side of the ball, playing a very good defensive game.
Brody Reeder is back in. He tosses it over to the right side, and guess who? That's Nick Orlando in the wide receiver spot. And that is going to be a 6-yard gain for the Dogs to open the drive. Oh, well, I mean, instead of having them trade shifts on the field, why not just have them both on there at the same time?
And it opens up your playbook a little bit, too. You can have Nick Orlando come in motion. And you can do a double pass. You can have him be a runner. You can have him be a pass catcher. He can really do anything you need him to on the field. Just a great utility player for the Dogs.
Walker in motion. They hand it off to Deinhardt up the middle. Hard running from A.J. Deinhardt. Gets the first down.
A.J. Deinhardt with his 6th carry of the day, averaging over 7 yards a carry. Will they start to get him involved a little more? Because you saw it right there. He doesn't get stopped at that initial point of contact, and if it does happen, it's very rare. He's able to get those extra 2-3 yards almost every time. You got to wonder if they're just going to keep giving it to him, let him march all the way down the field on the back of A.J. Deinhardt.
I would think so. They're not exactly on pace for their regular yards per game rushing total of 211. Here's Reeder, back to pass, escapes the pocket. He's going to have to scramble a little bit. Hold on to that ball, young fella. Gets 3 yards, down at the 40.
Reeder brought down by 97.
It's amazing how composed he is. Again, another young quarterback, even younger than Bushka, and just how composed he is. There were 2 guys in his face, was able to avoid, and then what looked like probably a loss of 5 into a gain of 3 and set you up nicely and kind of open up your playbook. You can run, you can pass here on second down.
4 skill players to the right of Reeder. Suchevitz in motion. Fakes the pitch. Scrambles to his right. Lets one rip. He's got Nate Walker on the catch, but he was out of bounds. And that'll be 3rd down for the Dogs.
Still a great effort, but what's looming is that 3rd down conversion stat. Now going from this week and last week 0 for 14, it kind of becomes a bigger and bigger monster. Every one you don't get, it just feels like you'll never get one again. Can they convert it here and kind of get it off of their back and finally be like, okay, settle in. We're like, okay, if it gets to 3rd down, we know we can move the ball.
Do you think they're thinking of that right now?
Maybe. I don't know. I never actually played in the field, but I'm assuming that's what they're thinking.
3rd and 7 for the Dogs.
3rd and 7 for Butler. Out here in front of the faithful at the Sellick Bowl. Blitz coming. Got to go quick to Flogger, and he drops it as he goes, but hold everything. There's a penalty on the field coming all the way from the backside judge, who was on the opposite side of the field, really.
Looks like he's signaling a personal foul the way, or a holding the way he's crossing his arms. Usually that far back in the secondary, you would think it's going to be a holding either on the offense if he started blocking before the pass was completed,
right,
or holding
maybe
on the defense.
man downfield possibly.
Yeah. Because that's what's hard about when you're setting up a screen. Your offensive linemen are trying to get upfield and engage in their block, but if that pass isn't completed before they get there and there's not a runner, all that, then
Blindside block, illegal blindside block, and the offense number 88. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Blindside block on Butler. They said 88. I do not believe Luka Popovich was out there.
4th down and 7.
Might have been on Suchevich. He was coming down for a crackback block. But regardless, Butler goes over on this drive again. And just, I don't know, Drew, the first 2 drives haven't seemed like they've been able to establish anything, and their attitude seems a little bit different. Block punt. Chasing after it. Number 53, Chase Lyons, and he'll recover it inside the 5. I think down at the 5. What a tough break for the Bulldogs. Blocked punt.
And something to note, too, he is punting into that wind that we talked about earlier. Something you see a lot of punters do is you want to get that punt off as quick as you can, but sometimes with the wind you want to take a little extra time. You usually lower your drop, which lowers the block point, which makes it a little bit easier to get to if you're the defender. So all those things combined, plus a really good rush, it is usually easier to block a punt when they're going into the wind because they're going to try to get just a little more oomph, behind the ball.
Right, and there's a lot of, when you're attacking for a block punt, it's all about the angles, too, that you take. And sometimes the offensive guard or what have you, when you're in a spread punt position, isn't able to get there if you take the right angle.
And what has been a strong point so far for Butler is their special teams, but now can turn in 2 6 points for the Toreros.
Randall, an I formation. On the right side, Hansen gets a block, and he jumps back on line into the end zone for a touchdown for the Toreros. So things go from bad to worse. You don't convert offensively on 3rd down, get the block punt, and in one play, the score has flipped completely.
And we talked about this coming out of the halftime break. They are a second-half team, scoring 13 unanswered against St. Thomas to win that game. You knew that going into the game, so now how do you respond? You're not out of this game. There's still almost 23 minutes left to play. you just have to take it play by play, drive by drive, and just go down and score on this next one. You don't want to make one bad mistake worse, but it looked, and the PAT was good. I thought it went wide, but you're down by 2 scores, and you just have to respond. You're not out of it. You're not down, but if you go 3 and out, you have to punt, and they come back and score. Then it starts to get harder to claw back into the game. Just got to settle in, relax, and just start moving the ball like you did the whole first half.
Well, we'll see what Butler has in store next drive and get the ball back right away to try to make something happen. Tough position for Butler to be in. Other scores, halftime, Marist leads Stetson at half 24-3. Dayton leads Drake 7-0. Morehead State leading Presbyterian in the first quarter 16-0, and that'll be 17 they just scored. And then later today, 2 p.m., Valparaiso and St. Thomas will play.
8 seconds. Riley Hansen, 5-yard touchdown run. Pablo Tanger.
Other notable scores throughout the FCS. Elon is defeating Maine 19-10. Brown leading Colgate 17-0. And one more for you. Cornell Harvard tied at 0. Tager, this one, another deep boot for a touchback.
I think that's 4.
Tager's kickoff results in a touchback.
It's got the leg.
It always makes you wonder, though, when you think about the kickoff game, we always wanted to leave the ball in play. We called it a T20. We wanted to get those guys tackled at the 20, the 15, the 10 to make it a long field. It is great to have a touchback every time because you know there's no chance of a big return. But with a guy with a leg like that, do you ever think maybe we want to get it more like in the box, make them return, and see if we can give them worse field position?
I think if you're consistent, I think Coach Dale Lindsay probably wants to just go ahead and line up our defense at the 20 every time, or 25, just so we know how to prepare, I guess. That'd be my only logic, because I'd like to keep it in play. Orlando looking deep. He finds Rusk on his check down, but he can't haul it in.
It's always one of those dangerous plays where the receiver tries to make the catch. It's not perfect, but then can actually tip it up and make it almost easier to intercept. Got lucky there, and a great effort to try to make the catch, almost with the one-handed snag. But definitely breathing a sigh of relief on the sideline after that one.
Coach Forrest's squad trying to get back into this game, and all of a sudden the tables turned very quickly. Orlando looking for his man behind. It was Joey Succi. Can't find him, and Orlando had nowhere to go. And the Bulldog offense looks very out of sorts right now.
Looked like he was expecting someone to come back around and take it. Coming around the right side, looked like he was ready for a pitch, then got stuck. A.J. Deinhardt also looked like he was running exactly what he thought. Just a miscommunication, but unfortunate to happen to make it 3rd and long. Still not having converted one even from last game.
See what's in store here. 3rd down and 15 from the 20-yard line. Flogger in motion all the way across. Orlando. Deep ball to Flogger. He's got him. Yogi Flogger. That dude out of bounds at the opposite 20. And Butler changes the pace. How about it?
Able to get your first 3rd down conversion in almost 7 quarters of football. Came at a great time. Huge play. And that is exactly what we were wanting. 60 yards.
60-yard bomb. Orlando to Flogger. And a perfect pass from Nick Orlando. That one fell right into the breadbasket. Flogger didn't even have to change the pace of his steps at all. 6:36 to go in the 3rd quarter. Butler just hit a huge play. Hand off to Deinhardt. I think he fumbled it briefly, but he falls on it. And unfortunately, that's a wasted play.
Orlando hands off to A.J.
It's a wasted play, but I'd much rather have a wasted play when you're kind of in field goal range than down around your own 20. So you don't want it to happen. but you feel maybe a little bit more okay. I don't think that Coach Connor does right now on the sideline. He's probably letting him hear it, but it's manageable. Again, it's a mistake you don't want to have, but it's manageable. You can deal with it. Now what can you do to turn it around?
Fake to Deinhardt. Orlando zipping the comeback out to Flogger, and that'll be incomplete.
Orlando's bootleg pass falls incomplete.
So with that giant pass, Orlando is now at 145 yards passing on 5 attempts, 3 completions.
Third down and 13 for Butler at the 25.
And great
now
pressure.
leading the way. Total yards, Drake at 276, Butler at 215. Dead even for the most part pass yards. San Diego leading the way, 115 rush yards. So San Diego defending, blitzing. Orlando needs to escape. And he'll go down. Number 93, Jacob Sawitz.
And that's unfortunately one of those mistakes you can't have. You just took yourself from a 42-yard field goal, very in the range of either Lucas Zurich or J.J. Wattis, to now where you have to go for it on 4th down. You're not really close enough. Well, you are close. You are far away enough for a punt, but again, you're running the risk of a touchback and it being a net of 8 yards.
Oh, it's tough, too, after you get such a long gain. Well, it looks like they are going to kick this one, Drew.
Good.
50-yard field goal for Lucas Zurich. This would be the longest of his career. This one is away. Does it have the distance? It'll just fall short. So, I mean, that's the risk you run, right? I mean, if you're at the 35-yard line or just inside, I mean, you're bound to hit 50, just under 50, and you have to let it rip, or you could punt it. He did have that one that knocked inside the 5, but San Diego was able to get that one again. How about Flogger? See him on your screen. Sporting the number 0 this week. Normally wore number 84. He's the big play guy, and he had a 60-yard gain. He's got 3 receptions, 91 yards.
And again, on that field goal, we've talked about it a couple times, but about a 10 to 12 mile an hour wind in your face. I mean, a 50-yard field goal from there is very hard for anybody.
Very hard. Randall drops back, lofting it over. And that one be incomplete. Number 83, the intended receiver, Austin Lyles. Did I say Drake earlier, by the way?
One time. We were doing it the whole way over here, talking about
mixing 2 things. Looking, it's one of those situations. You look last week at Drake on spot board.
Devin Aguilar appears to be down after great coverage. Again, a senior leader. Over to Coach Code and now back, but you got to love Coach Code's enthusiasm.
Yeah, I think he's getting after the guys. I mean, it's another thing, too. I mean, we kind of talk about over the years the program has had quite a few different assistant coaches with a lot of different styles, and Code was here on our way out. And we love the energy that he brought to the offensive line, a group that needs to be nasty, right? Thankfully, Devin Aguilar okay.
And he used to run all of our field goal meetings, and I have never been so locked in. Usually you don't know how much a coach is going to care about the 1 point after a touchdown, but he cared about every single thing that he's in charge of and everything he does. And he just made everybody feel like they were a part of whatever unit they were on. Just always enjoyed going to those meetings, and he was always first guy to give you that high five off the field.
Exactly. Always was. Well, San Diego trying to find their groove here in their next offensive possession. Right now averaging 5 yards per rush. Can't imagine the plan's going to change at all for Coach Dale Lindsay's squad. Let's see what Tyler Sutton has in store as the OC. Pitch out to Hansen. Closing in. Nicely done by number 31, Nick Bafia. Good closing speed by the linebackers of Butler. Bradley McGee takes on that first block. And it is 3rd down and 7 from the 36.
Brings up a Torero 3rd down and 7.
Butler not missing any key players on defense. Obviously, barring that Aguilar is fine. They're going to take a timeout here, their first of the half.
Yeah, you saw a late substitution there. Number 25, Cody Leach, coming on a little bit late. Seemed like a little bit of miscommunication. The fans in the crowd are starting to get a little restless. But they're still in this game. I mean, it's not like all hope is lost with 3:53 left here in the third. Plenty of time on the clock. Even if there was 6 or 7 minutes left in the fourth, it's only 2 scores. You have to score once and get the ball back. Don't make it any harder than that. You have a 3rd down, get them off the field. Have a clean punt. You know, don't muff the punt. You don't want to go for the block and miss and then give them a
Possibly
penalty.
hit somebody, right.
Yeah, you just get the ball back, drive the ball down the field. You've been able to score 2 touchdowns. You know you can move the ball. Have faith in the guys you have out there and just do what you know works. Again, easier said than done all the way up here.
It always is.
You might be able to hear it getting picked up on the crowd mic right now, but the defense yelling and screaming, get the ball. They are ready.
Let's make some noise. It's 3rd down and 7 at the 36-yard line.
Split backfield for Mason Randall and the Toreros. Tries to get the hard count. He does get the snap, and that one is complete to Karner on the outside. What a focused catch.
Mason Randall's pass complete to 9, Michael Karner.
And that'll be a 1st down for San Diego.
A low throw, made sure to hold it way above the ground. He left no room for any doubt. The referee, easy call and a great catch.
At the 47-yard line.
Michael Karner, a solid receiver from Westlake Village, California, and Westlake High School. Stopped here immediately is Hansen, gang tackle from the Dogs. Cody Leach still getting after it, trying to fight for the fumble there.
One of those you always got to be careful as soon as you hear that whistle blow. Guys still want to take him down to the ground. You always wonder, is there going to be a late flag coming in? Not here. Great hustle by the Bulldog defense and making it a 2nd and long.
Second down and 11. Randall, quick throw. That one goes through the hands of Godinez.
And way to finish the play, number 42, Mike Wellman, making sure just in case he did catch that, he's not going anywhere.
Oh, yeah. Very nice job on the coverage there from Wellman, and also didn't interfere with the path of the ball or the hands of Godinez either.
No, some people would call that a textbook.
Some would say textbook.
Yeah, some would say.
We see TJ Greenstone there, head strength and conditioning coach. Brings the juice all the time on the sideline. He also gives personnel feedback for the defense. Randall, screen over to Hansen. Oh, almost briefly tackled by Bradley McGee and Eloa Bigurimana, and he'll finally be brought down past the 1st down line by Jordan Castleberry.
And we talked about it in the first half. That first guy there has got to make that play, because what could have been a 1-yard loss or just right at the line of scrimmage is now a 14-yard gain and a 1st down. And those are ones that you really want to make them have to punt, and then you turn the tide. And going back to TJ Greenstone, a great guy to have on the sideline, former captain at Vanderbilt, smart guy, and can play in the SEC against the likes of, the Tim Tebow-led Florida team. Has a lot of really cool stories.
That he does. He's the man. Hand off again. This time Stearns. He'll get about 5 yards on that carry.
Ron Stearns on the carry for San Diego.
And that helps, too, to kind of expound on that idea that coaches who have played big-time, SEC football, or Coach Hankins, who went Division I first, then went to go win national championships at Marion. Coach Code, who coached at Marion, won national championships. It helps to have your staff be so seasoned in what you're in the kind of missions that they've been a part of to capture national championships and play big-time football. To then bring it to this program is huge. Coach Lindsay and Coach Tyler Sutton will take a timeout for San Diego. 1:15 to go here in the third quarter.
And one thing I keep noticing as we're watching this game is that the Butler defense is able to get to the ball carrier, and you think, oh, he only got 1, 2, 3 yards, and then you look up and it's a gain of 5 or 6. The Toreros are just running very hard and not just not going down.
Yeah, they certainly have the chip on their shoulder when they run, that's for sure. Scoring updates for you. Morehead State leads Presbyterian 17-6 in the second quarter, and Dayton leads Drake 13-0. Marist still leading Stetson 24-3. That game's in the third.
Play resumes,
Second and 5 for the Toreros. Randall has completed a pass to 7 different receivers today. Looking for another one. Deep shot. Over the middle, he's got Christian Brown, and touchdown, San Diego. 32-yard strike from Randall to Brown.
With 1:11 remaining in the third quarter, San Diego takes a 30-14 lead.
30-14 lead now, and I guess you could attribute it, Drew, to like just how quick it can happen. You lose you give up 3 points, but then nothing happens on offense. Give a block punt. San Diego scores in one play. Can't get anything going at the next drive, and all of a sudden, Toreros are out in front by 17 now. So with 1:11 to go in the third quarter, San Diego takes a 31-14 lead. 8 plays, 67 yards, 329 on that scoring drive. Eichert knocks it through.
And one thing you have to think, 1 minute and 11 seconds left here in the third quarter. Still very much in this game. You just got to score fast and get the ball back. You got to wonder if they're going to dig deep into the playbook.
A little trickeration, maybe?
A little trickeration. One of our good friends, Brian Ronaldo, we won't give the play call, but he had his own pass in the game, a former high school quarterback. Will they start to do that even with Nick Orlando? I mean, will they have Brody Reeder in there, do a little backwards pass, and then get it going forward?
Well, they tried a double pass last week, and they tried another trick play as well. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them against Drake, but, I mean, you never know. I mean, we know these coaches, obviously, but understand, too, that they have tricks up their sleeve when they need it, especially when they need to spark. Tager's going to boot this one, no surprise, to the back of the end zone.
He actually hit that in the grass on the fly. That's like 85 yards in the air.
We're over to the left side of the press box. I had to lean over to see that. But
and
so far, quick hit stats for you. Mason Randall, 19 of 24 through the air, 221 yards, 2 touchdowns at 79% completion rate. And Nick Orlando, 3 of 5, 145 yards, 1 touchdown. Brody Reeder, 2 of 5, 11 yards. Butler rushing. A.J. Deinhardt leads the way with 38 yards. And on San Diego's side, Riley Hansen leads the way with 36 yards rushing. Godinez leads for San Diego receiving. Flogger for Butler leads with 91 yards. Reeder drops back. He's going to take a deep shot to Orlando, who gets tackled past the 40-yard line. What a shot. Brody Reeder to his quarterback companion. 39 yards through the air.
And that's how you score quick, and it's been working so well so far, whether it's Yogi Flogger, Nate Walker, Nick Orlando. The deep shots, 30, 40 yards plus, have been working very well. You can score quickly on this San Diego defense, but now that you're at the 35, you have to make it count, and you have to get points here.
Walker in motion. It's going to be a false start on Butler. I think Trevor Scott had some happy feet going with the snap.
Definitely one of the studs on the offensive line, a fifth-year senior, not a guy you usually see mistakes from, but a mistake you really don't want and almost can't have. Down 17 points with 37 seconds left here in the third quarter. Those are the things that you just can't have happen right now. But he will definitely bounce back.
That he will, he has to, and he's a captain too, so he's going to wear that on his sleeve. Be ready for the next one. Handoff to Boyd. Jack Boyd, oh, just one tackler away. Tackle there by number 57, Jagger Pagano.
Gain of 3 on the play brings up second down and 12. That's the end of the
And that'll round us down to the end of the third quarter. Our score, San Diego 31, Butler 14. We'll be right back. You're watching Butler football on the Butler Athletics YouTube page. Welcome back to the Bud and Jackie Sellick Bowl. Joey Lindstrom alongside Drew Bevelheimer. We're getting ready for the start of the fourth quarter here. Great performance by the cheer squad.
Just a little late getting off the field there.
That's okay. They're doing their thing.
Second down and 12 to start the fourth quarter.
Second and 12 here for Butler. After the big completion to Nick Orlando, they had a snap infraction and then handed off to Boyd. Reeder's going to throw this one to Flogger. I think he tried to force it there.
And a great play there by number 2, Michael Hawkins, letting him know he made a great play too after that. But again, leading the team in tackles, just an all-around stud for that defensive side of the ball. Just always around, ready to make a play.
Well, this tandem defensively has been excellent for San Diego. Hawkins with 42 tackles, Nichols with 28. They combined for 3 interceptions on the year. Suchevich in motion. Reeder escaping the pocket. Needs to throw. He's going to find Walker, but throws it over at the top where Nate can't get it. I have the question here, will the Dogs try to go for it?
I think
you have to, right?
I think at this point in the game, down 3 scores in the fourth quarter, I agree. I think you have to, because you're always thinking if that punt goes in the back of the end zone, you're netting 13 yards of field position. You might as well give it a shot. It is a 4th and long. The likelihood of you converting this isn't high, just based on the analytics. But I mean, you have to go for it, and you have to let your team know too. Like, we are fighting to get back in this game, and we are still playing to win.
I like that. I think it's good. It's the right attitude that they have to have. Orlando launching this one to Flogger, dives for it, and that will not be in his reach. Turnover on downs for the Dogs. The Toreros will take over.
Just grazing his fingertips too. I mean, it was that close. Unlucky, but again, we've been talking about it since the start of the second half. After going down, plenty of time. You definitely need to start getting moving. They can't score again. You need to get them 3 and out. Grant Purley looking as good as ever. Always looking good. Always bringing the swag.
Well, let's see if Butler can find a little more of that juice here on the defensive side. San Diego has been pretty methodical throughout. Hand off to Stearns. Left side. He'll get brought down past the first down line.
Randall heads off to 32, Javon Stearns.
And that was a 14-yard gain. Stearns with 33 yards rushing. Second on the team so far today. A lot of different backs that we've seen from San Diego.
42, Michael Wellman, and 5, Connor Reed.
And all of them very good on the ground today.
First down and 10 at the 49-yard line.
Double tight end set for the Toreros. Again, Stearns behind that big O line. He'll gain about 5 yards.
32 Stearns with the carry again.
San Diego had 3 former players signed to NFL practice squads after strong preseason performance. Quarterback Reed Sinnott from class of 2019 returns for his second season with the Miami Dolphins. Receiver Michael Bandy earned a spot with the LA Chargers. And, of course, Jamal Agnew now on the Jaguars. They even have him playing offense as well, which is kind of crazy. But it is very cool to see Pioneer Football League players show out in the NFL. And now he's tied for the longest NFL play in history. That 109-yard kick 6 return off a field goal attempt. There's Randall swinging it out to Brown, and he'll be brought down past the first down line.
And you're at the point now where you kind of have to force a turnover. They're either in 4-down territory or the range where they will try another long field goal. You got to make something happen here if you're the defense.
Hand off to Ging. Did a little stutter step over to the left side, and he'll gain what would be 4 yards.
San Diego, second down and 6 at the 32-yard line.
32-yard line for San Diego, second down and 6. Randall with bunch to his right. He sends his man Jefferson in motion. Little touch pass to Jefferson on the sweep. Malachi Pike chasing him down and knocking him out of bounds. Ooh, taking out the down marker, the first down marker, gentlemen. Or excuse me, the line of scrimmage marker.
Able to get up.
Okay, yep. Still got it, taking the hits.
But there is a flag on the play. Again, more towards the secondary.
Holding on the offense, that time number 83, Austin Lyles. So this will push San Diego back, thankfully for Butler.
You have to take advantage of this now. They are now pushed out of field goal range and a range where they would probably want to punt and play the field position battle. You got to make them pay, and you got to keep them at a second and long, then third and long, and force that punt.
Randall drops back. Over the middle. Got his receiver, but a nice stick by Eloa Biguramana. Carner on the catch. And Biguramana stuck him like a cactus. That'll be 3rd down and 10 for the Toreros.
2-yard gain on the play brings up 3rd down and 10.
San Diego 6 for 10 on 3rd down in this game. Last week they were 1 for 12. Hitting his check down. Over to Hansen. Trying to make some juke moves. They will not convert on 3rd down here. Initial hit by Trey Mason and Malachi Pike. Looks like San Diego will bring out the punting unit, and Lemon will come back on. Try to pin Butler deep here.
4th down and 7 for San Diego at the 33.
Butler looks like they're going to go in the safe spot. Punt safe, rather, is what I meant to say.
And again, here out of the return game, you can expect either a fair catch or just let it go over his head. There will not be a return.
This will fall back into the end zone. And Butler will have a touchback at the ball at the 25.
And if you're San Diego, you got to think, if the ball's back on the 20, only a 13-yard net punt.
Right.
Is it worth just going for it on 4th down there? I would say it probably is. You're not really changing the field position that much, and you have the opportunity to stay on the field.
So Brody Reeder back on the field, 2nd possession in a row. RPO out to Orlando. That's picked. Michael Hawkins will take this one to the house off the tip.
We've been saying all game, just has a nose for the ball, always around, ready to make a play. A 22-yard interception return. And the offense is going to go right back on the field. You have to be able to shake it off, snap and clear, and just move and just be ready to go.
37-14 lead.
37-14 our count. See if Eicher can knock this one through.
Brandon Eicher will attempt the extra point for the Toreros.
Very unfortunate pick 6 against Butler. And to think, I mean, this game was tied at halftime, and it just turned very sour very quickly for the Bulldogs. This one boots it through.
And now a 24-0 run. This San Diego team now making it known that they're a team that'll come out in the second half, keep it close, and then go on a run.
38-14 our score. I'm going to take a second to shout out the Sports Media 350 class for the production of today's broadcast. You guys rock. They're in the booth with us. They're not going to look at me because they don't want to get embarrassed. You guys rock. Thank you so much. All the camera work has been awesome. Production and Professor Nick White leading the troops for a great, great show on YouTube. Thanks so much for the viewers today being with us here to watch Butler football versus San Diego, some PFL Division I AA action. Morehead State leads Presbyterian 24-6 in the second. Dayton leads Drake 14-0, and Marist still 24-3, hosting Stetson. And it's still early in the PFL season, as this one dies right beyond the goal line. It's still early in the season, obviously, especially in conference play. Both these teams do have tough schedules. Drake will San Diego will host Drake next week. And then they have Presbyterian, and then they play Valpo. You never know how those are going to go. Moorhead throws 700 yards on the board last week, and they're leading Presbyterian now. I mean, the PFL forever is going to be a toss-up, but for a while it was San Diego leading the way, and then kind of the 2, 3, 4 was the Dayton Drakes, Moorhead States, and Stetson's. Jacksonville was up there for a while. Davidson. Here's Deinhardt. It's about 5 yards, and Davidson won it in the spring. They go to the playoffs, lose to, I believe, Nicholls State. And a close matchup, too. But, I mean, now Davidson seems like kind of the cream of the crop as far as the PFL goes, and now San Diego's chasing them.
And San Diego, once they've gotten to the playoffs, able to beat the likes of Cal Poly and Northern Arizona.
Right.
Being able to make a name for the PFL, not only getting there, but then winning those first-round games, showing the PFL produces good football.
Deinhardt on the carry, stopped briefly, but keeps the legs moving for a 3-yard gain. And then you have new entrants, St. Thomas and Presbyterian. Presbyterian puts up points like crazy, maybe not today against Moorhead, but now are they somebody that could be in the mix if they get their offense going? St. Thomas is a hard-nosed football team. They played San Diego close last week. Deinhardt up the middle again, bowling over opposing defenders and his own teammate Austin Schwantz for the first down. A.J. Deinhardt.
And it's nice to see him get more involved. He's been running the ball very well today, averaging still over 5 yards a carry. Keep giving him the ball. Every time he touches the ball so far, he's made something happen, whether it's getting 4 or 5 yards on a first down carry or then getting you a fresh set of downs on a second or third down. You got to think, keep giving him the ball.
Reeder coming back to pass. He's going to be hit hard. He does keep the leg. I don't know how he escaped that, honestly. Keeps the legs going, spins out of a tackle, and gains a few yards. Pressure there by Malachi Cooper. I think another advantage that maybe a team like San Diego has is they're kind of the isolated PFL Division I team in the state of California for this West PFL team, obviously. As Reeder keeps this one over the middle, he'll gain the first down. And so I think that when you consider that, they get a lot of maybe the kids who didn't quite get as many scholarship offers from the other FCS and FBS programs that, are all along the state of California, and Arizona, and Nevada.
And you can see it, too. I mean, 3 or 4 guys at any given time will be in the NFL just from this team alone. That they take in really good talent, and then they end up producing really good talent to get to the next level. Just a team that is stacked with really good athletes who can make plays all over the field.
There's also, I think, 4 Hawaiian-born players on San Diego's team, too, so they get little pockets of Hawaii as well.
Yeah,
2 yards on the carry. But Butler, I mean, they have forever been recruited centrally to, obviously, Indianapolis, Ohio, get a lot of kids from there, Michigan, and Chicago. I mean, when we were playing, there was well over 20 kids from the Chicagoland area. That's got to continue. You got to continue to get good talent from those areas.
Yeah, and they have. You can see it, especially with your senior leadership and the young guys.
Reeder, out route. That one's picked off again. This time, Hunter Nichols has to beat Reeder, and he'll go out of bounds.
Brody Reeder's pass intercepted by 6, Hunter Nichols.
Hunter Nichols' 3rd interception on the year. That's definitely one that the young quarterback would like to have back.
Yeah, and going back to the young guys, too, you can see with these guys being able to play so well at a young age. They're bringing in good talent. Then you're going to see, you saw it in the first half, able to keep it close, a tie game going into halftime. You're going to start to see as these guys get older, it's not going to be just keeping it close at halftime. It's going to be keeping it close throughout all 4 quarters,
right,
and being able to edge out these wins and just being able to get more W's in the win column. But still, you have to be happy with what you've seen, especially in the first half.
22 personnel out there for Drake. Clear running situation. Going to toss it to Ging. And they'll only gain a couple of yards. Be down at the 19-yard line.
And you got to think 6 minutes left here, up by 4 scores. They're just going to start to run this clock out. Probably going to see a lot of runs. And just hopefully get that clock down to 2, 3, 4 minutes by the time they get off the field.
Mason Randall through the air, 23-28, 238 yards and 2 touchdowns. Solid day. That's a rating of 177.7. Goes again over to Brown. That's another touchdown for the Toreros on the wheel route.
So we will not see them run the ball and bring the clock down. Instead, they're going to score for a 20-yard touchdown pass, making it 44-14, probably soon to be 45-14.
Butler obviously disappointed.
To attempt the extra point for the Toreros.
San Diego's offense, it's not that they weren't clicking in the first half, but just in the second half, they've really come on strong, and Butler hasn't really had an answer for it.
And two, you got to think 21 points off of turnovers if you include the block punt as a turnover. You have the block punt, a pick 6, and then an interception returned for over 40 yards, and then a score 2 plays later. They're able to turn those mistakes into points, and that's a big difference in this game. You take those mistakes out, you take those 21 points off the board, you're still looking at a 14-24 game. So can you just tighten up those mistakes going into next week?
You see Coach Forrest down there obviously probably telling his kick return unit, look, he's pinned it deep all day, but if we get a return here, this is a matter of pride. I mean, you got to have a good return. Set yourself up. Maybe your offense can get another score on the board. But really, go there and hit somebody. I mean, you don't really have anything to lose.
Yeah, you still got to play hard. Even though at 45-14 with 5 minutes and 41 seconds left here in the game, probably out of reach. But it doesn't mean you stop playing hard. I mean, you got to keep playing to the whistle. You got to keep hitting guys hard. You got to keep making plays, and that can't stop just because you're losing. It's about your pride, and it's about showing it doesn't matter. We're still going to play the Butler brand of football to the best of our abilities as long as there's still time on the clock.
Tager on to boot this one again. Boyd will defer. That will go into the end zone, down for a touchback. Well, San Diego only averaged 15 points a game until today, obviously. High-scoring affair for the Toreros. This will certainly help Butler's field position chances, and I believe that's only a 5-yard penalty. San Diego offsides, crossing the line as they were kicking.
Always an interesting penalty, too, when you know you have a guy that's going to put it in the end zone. Really no need to push your luck.
Just trying to hustle, I suppose.
Yeah, especially special teams guys, usually they want to see more field time. So they want to show just how hard they're working, and just unlucky there.
Next week, Butler will travel to Morehead State. 3 p.m. kickoff out there in Morehead, Kentucky. And they will host Davidson on the 23rd, and then they will travel to Dayton, host Valparaiso, and then round out the season at Marist. Joey Succi on the carry.
22, Joey Succi with the carry for the Bulldogs.
Great carry for Succi.
9-yard gain for Succi. 2nd down and 1 for Butler at the 30.
Redshirt freshman out of Mayfield Heights, Ohio. Again with Succi. First down for the Dogs. 5 minutes to go here. So far leading the way for Butler rushing. Still A.J. Deinhardt, 11 carries, 57 yards, 21 long. Both these teams 100% in the red zone. That's one thing we were worried about because San Diego doesn't have a field goal. Didn't have a field goal before today when they reached the red zone. Only touchdowns, but they didn't have a great percentage. That pass to Jeremy Johnson misfired.
Pass intended for 9. Jeremy Johnson falls incomplete. Second down and 10 for Butler at the 45-yard line.
Reeder, pistol. With Suchi in the backfield. And off up the middle. He's met in the hole by Mikey Irving. Brought down after a nice gain. So keep giving it to Suchi, I suppose.
Yeah, he's a guy who doesn't get to see a lot of touches. He's getting his opportunity now, wanting to show he's going to run hard, and it's hard to take him down right now. He's helping you move the ball, and that's what you love to see in a game that might be a little bit out of reach, but still playing every play as hard as you can.
Reeder drops back, tries to hit Popovich, and this one's going to be picked off again. Running with it, number 4, Zamir Wallace, breaks a tackle. Zamir Wallace will take it into the end zone, adding salt to the wound, a 50-yard interception return for a touchdown. And unfortunate that both pick sixes for Brody Reeder have been off tips.
Yeah, we talked about earlier, too, with Nate Rusk tipping that one, luckily falling incomplete.
There is a flag on the field.
I'm assuming that's going to be a taunting penalty on the offense, or I guess on the defense, then becoming the offense returning it.
Possibly. I didn't see the celebration at all.
Might have been a little bit too much for the referee's liking. Oh.
So it will be a sideline warning. Thanks to our referees today, Mike Packard, head referee in the white cap. Umpire Corey Williams, Julie Howell, the head line judge, Ben Kramer, line judge, Brian Williams, Aaron Glover, Cleophas Miller, and John Lukavensky, the evaluator. And that extra point good makes it 52-14. 3:50 to go here. So far, obviously subtracting from the 3 interceptions, Butler has done, at least they did well passing the ball in the first half. Only had passed 3 times, and they were 100%, and then they hit a couple deep shots, but Orlando, 3 of 6, 145 yards through the air and a touchdown. Reeder started out hot and since has not done as well as he'd hoped. 3 of 12, 51 yards. 3 interceptions, but that's got to come with the maturation of a young quarterback, right? I mean, he's put in a very tough position, having to switch back and forth. And when Brett Bush goes out all of a sudden, during the week, you're not sure if you're going to have to be the guy, and he did step up today given the circumstances.
Right, and I think, too, these are the mistakes that it's okay to make right now. Again, throwing most of those interceptions once the score started to open up in the game, and I think it's okay to make those mistakes right now. You'd rather give him those live reps and let him learn from those mistakes without getting his confidence down. And that kick will probably travel out of bounds. And I think you just got to be willing to grow and just be willing to take those mistakes and realize that they will make you better as you go later on in your career, because we have seen those flashes from him, completing passes, running for a touchdown, keeping the Dogs in the game, making it a 14-7 game, taking an early lead.
Right.
And then it's just
it was all there.
It was all there, and now you just got to worry about finishing games. Obviously, going on a 38-0 run, not exactly what you had scripted coming out of halftime, but you have the pieces there. You were able to move the ball in the first half. and now you just have to build on it.
For the Bulldogs at the 35-yard line.
And certainly they will. Go back and Monday tape, get grilled a little bit, and then you get after it for the next week. That's all part of the job description when you're a college athlete. Suchi will take it on the sweep. Good run by Joey Suchi. A guy that has really been a bright spot coming in here. Played a little bit in the first half. He's got 31 yards rushing on 6 carries. That's 5.2 yards average.
Again, the Dogs running very effectively today. Having A.J. Deinhardt averaging 5.2 and Brody Reeder averaging 4.4, able to move the ball on the ground.
Reeder going to launch this one deep. He's got his man, number 11, Sam Rogers. Deep ball goes for the Dogs. Great play. Great catch by Rogers, 45 yards through the air on that one, and Reeder just let that one fly.
Showing off a little bit of arm talent there.
First down and 10 for the Bulldogs at the 20.
Red zone opportunity for the Dogs. Hand off to Boyd. Boyd carrying some guys. Hasn't gone down yet. He'll gain 5 yards. Down at the 15. Forward progress to the 15, I should say.
Tackle by 40, Zach Carr. Second down and 5 at the 15-yard line.
Second and 5 at the 15. 2:20 here to go at the Sellick Bowl. Reeder, sprint out. Over the top to Johnson. Incomplete. Johnson was pleading for maybe a PI call. Pass interference, that does not fly. Some offensive linemen out there, new faces. Brian Beistel at the center position. Luke Kessinger at left guard. Number 74. Number 79, Jack Turner at right guard. Fabian Gonzalez at left tackle. Boyd, handoff. Not to mention for the O-line, Owen Keene on the right tackle spot. Jack Boyd will gain 4 yards, just shy of the first down. This will be 4th down and 1.
Sets up 4th down and 1 at the 11-yard line.
Think they try to punch this one past the first down, Drew, or try to pass?
You would think try to punch. And
Brody
there it
Reeder
is.
is going to take it himself. Got to get the first down. He will and more. Reeder dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Bulldogs. His second scamper for a touchdown today. Brody Reeder from Mainville, Ohio. Great effort by the kid today. I think his teammates affectionately call him Sunshine, given the hair. And it was flowing as he goes and dives for that touchdown. Zurich on to kick. And he boots this one through. And over the scoreboard as well. 52-21 our score with 90 seconds to play.
And you have to love Brody Reeder's ability to come back and score that touchdown, going 2 straight possessions with a pick that then turned into points. Not giving up, able to lead the team down to score again, make it a little bit closer. It is just very encouraging to see a young man of his age being able to be that mentally strong and just shake it off. I mean,
And, yeah, and not to mention, he came out slinging it. He just let it rip and got the huge pass to Sam Rogers. They go down there, get a couple good rushes, and then he takes it himself on a 4th and 1 for a touchdown. Nothing more you could ask for, given the time stamp on the game. Lucas Zurich on to kick. He's been solid throughout on kickoffs, and this kickoff team has now lit up more than 20 yards. Going to sky kick this one. It's going to go bounce just ahead of Ging. And he'll take it just past the 20 to about the 22-yard line. Got to imagine San Diego just going to run this clock out this time. Last time we thought they were just going to run it out. They let a pass rip. That Butler drive, 6 plays, 65 yards, 2 minutes and 22 seconds elapsed on that drive. 1:26 to go here.
Toreros first down and 10 at the 22-yard line.
Handoff up the middle to Stearns. He'll be brought down after a short gain. Grant Sargent in for the Toreros at QB, number 12. Sargent, excuse me.
Second down and 8 for San Diego at the 24-yard line. 1 minute to play.
1 minute to go. Butler has 2 timeouts. See if they elect to use them. Hand off again to Stearns. After a 2-yard gain, be brought down. As clock winds down, as a reminder. After our contest here, stick around on the Butler Athletics YouTube page for 4 p.m. volleyball over in Hinkle Fieldhouse. Clock winds down, and next week, San Diego will host Drake. Butler will travel to Morehead State. Drew, what does Butler have to do to turn this thing around?
I think you just got to go in and prepare. You did a lot of things really well. You can't just roll the ball out against Morehead State, a team that can put up 700 yards of offense. You have to build on what you did in the first half, keeping it 14-14 against clearly a very good and prolific offense in San Diego. Just build off of what you were able to do. Hopefully you get your starting quarterback back in Brett Bushka. But again, you can't undo this game, but you can learn from it and you can build. And I think that's all you can really take away from it. You had those bright spots. Focus more on those and build off of it.
52-21 our final. The Toreros take care of business here in Indianapolis. Thank you so much for being with us and watching. And thank you to Professor Nick White's class for SPM 350. Thank you to our officials today and the rest of our production staff, as well as our statistician, Kit Stetzel, and our production manager, Joe Gentry. For Drew Bevelheimer, I'm Joey Lindstrom. Thank you so much for being with us for this presentation of Pioneer League football, FCS football, and especially Butler football on the Butler Athletics YouTube page. We will be back with you in 2 weeks here at the Sellick Bowl versus Davidson. Thank you, and have a great day.
How's it going, Bulldog fans? David Quintanilla here with Butler Athletics, here to recap Butler football's season so far.
Coming into this week, Butler sported a record of 2-3, with wins coming against DePauw and Taylor. Their losses came against Illinois State, St. Thomas, and Drake. Through their first 5 games, it's been a mixed bag for Butler, getting blown out twice, winning big in 2 games, and a close 3-point loss to Drake last week. In Week 4's game versus Taylor, Butler scored the most points in a single game in Butler history with 77 points. The Dogs were looking to get their first conference win on the season against San Diego. They came out hot in the first quarter with 2 touchdowns, but as the game went on, they were unable to keep San Diego off the scoreboard.
With the loss today against San Diego, Butler overall's record is 2-4. They look to